Hey folks, I'm back from Barcelona, and this one is a video for the Failstack designer, like how to use it and how to use it correctly, basically, because it is quite complex. I do understand that. I've tried to make it user-friendly, but when you first look at it, it's kind of gibberish, let's be honest. So I'll break it down the best that I can, and then I'll also show a few examples in game so people can kind of understand it a little bit better, that like it's better visualized in game rather than on a spreadsheet, for example. So I kind of give you both versions of how to work it. So without further ado, we'll get into the spreadsheet. So here is basically the Failstack designer. I've got this down on here just to show you that I've added basically a little bit of maths. It's not exactly correct, but it's more accurate than it used to be. So I've added in a little bit here of if you're going to have the Agris force upgrade. So it's basically each time the fail percentage for each row, 7 times failed. For this one, it will go up to duo, guaranteed from Pry, and then try is 8, tet is 12, and then it's 35 for pen. So it kind of includes it in that bit of maths. The costs, it doesn't include it in, but the reason I haven't included it in the cost is because that click itself doesn't change your fail stack. So there's no point of putting it in the fail stack costs, in my opinion. If I'm taking into account the fact that it upgrades by guaranteed, sure, it should be included, but in the cost itself, in my opinion, it shouldn't be. Now, that's that little bit of, what's the correct word for it? Housekeeping done. So over here is how you set up the sheet to start off with. Cost of what your blackstones cost you. Concentrated blackstone cost, flawless blackstone cost. You set this yourself because people have different ways of getting it, whether it's from the central market or making it yourself. These are for your, obviously, your Blath, Boss Gear, Black Star. You also have your Advice of Valks, not Origins. Now you can put the price in for the normal Origin. The dim Origin are free because you get them from events. Memory fragment prices for if you're going to do your repairs with memory fragments on the Black Star or Boss Gear. And then this is how much you're buying your Pry, how much you're selling your pen for, and for the Black Star as well. So it's included in there for if you're going to sell it and how that would affect your fail stack. And this is, you set these yourself as well, just because people can choose different Black Stars and different Boss Gear. Now this base chance is the chance that you get from doing your quests, up to 30k quests for 5 from the books. Now this bit here, I'm just going to go through this top bit and then we'll go through the balancing. Balancing is important, but not for now. So this is the stack that you want to use at your price stack. So if you want to use 15 stack with a +3, gets you up to the 18, which is a soft cap, but a lot of the time it's better to just go with 30. So it'll set the cost for your Pry for in your enhancement calculator. I realise a lot of things may be off the bottom. Well, it's just the enhancement calculator for now. I'll make sure to scroll down for things just because of obviously where my face is on the screen. Now, this is for every single one. So if you want to start your pen stack at 25 instead, you can click 25 and it'll change where you're starting. So it's the 25 plus the 4. If you want to do tet, it'll take this 110 and put it there. So you can go from your previous one if you want. Just obviously you have to change your maths for it. So I had it at 30. So it says how many times it's going to take you to make that stack and the cost of that stack on average. So as you can see, it's going to take 492 tries to go from a 34 stack to 240 stack. But if you would start from your tet stack, it would reduce the amount of times that you have to do it because obviously you get to 240 much quicker because you've already done all the bit up to this bit here. Now, this is broken down into 4 different stacks. So you've got your duo, your try, your tet and your pen. And it tells you what you should be aiming for each one. So you select what piece of gear you're going to be using. So Reblath, Boss Gear or Black Star. I go with Reblath. You can add ones if you want to be like what it is for you. That's fine. But you need to make sure the percentages are all correct. And then this is whether you're tapping a Pry, Duo, Try, Tet or a +14. And then you can also put your Valks in. Just make sure you only put 1 Valks in. Don't put in too many. Make sure you put them in the right place for yourself. you can change on each one how many Velcro you're going to put in, from 10 to plus 13. So the next part is obviously you're going to be trying to get these to be getting your stacks. As you can see, this one goes to 44. Like, they all go to the number that I recommend at the top. 44, 44, 40, 40, 110, 110, 240, 240. This is because I'm trying to be as proficient as possible and hit it exactly. This is for balancing. Now, this is where it gets a bit more complex. I'll scroll down so you can see the balancing. So I've put balancing on each different level to try and get it to show basically what you're making for each one, to see if each one's balanced. For example, if you look at my boss, the boss gear that I'm using right now, I'm making more duos and losing out on tries, so it's not efficient because I've got that boss gear in here. If I change that out to a Rablath, then boss gear, I'm making more boss gear because there is a boss somewhere in this. Where have I got the boss? Right, that should be a Rablath. There we go. So if I remove them, then it'll all be in here. And as you can see on this one, so what's happening currently is I am short on tries by 0.6, but I am making more duos. So therefore, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, here it's saying to keep going, making this, using the setup that I've got here to make each stack. If I'm to make 9 duo stacks, 4 try stacks and 1 tet stack, this basically is the amount of stacks you should use on average to take bases all the way up to 1 try, tet, sorry, on an accessory. So that's why I've got these numbers, because that way it'll make these accessories, is the idea. So I will always be down by just shy of 1 try of my fail stacking Rablaths per tet stack that I make, as long as I make these as well. So with that in mind, that means per the amount of stacks that I'm making, every single time I'm going to be down. So it costs 78.87 million for me to force a try up to, sorry, a duo up to try. And therefore it will cost me an extra 53.53 million per lot of stacks that I make. And then it basically works out the maths here for the cost of each stack, or it'd say the cost. So 9 duo stacks is going to cost me 418, 4 try stacks is going to cost me 357, and 1 tet stack is going to cost me 676 million. Then it adds the 53.53 million for forcing the try, which gives me a grand total of 1.5 billion per tet stack and try and duo stacks to go from base accessories to 1 tet accessory. That's the best that I can explain it, and I'll break this down as well because there is bits that I've missed in my explanations. So this is automatic. So if you do need to add another row, select all of this, drag it down, and it'll automatically populate. And then you set, and as you can see, it does these numbers automatically. So if I put tet in, it adds 6. If I put pry in, it adds 3. It does it all correct, making the maths as they should be. And I'll delete this because I do not need to go that far. And I'll also reset the colours. So that's literally how easy it is to use the sheet. Now, just so that people can see kind of what I'm talking about. So for 40 stacks, I make 2 pry Rablaths. For try stacks, it's 3 pry and a plus 14. And then I do pry, duo, try, tet on my tet stack. The reason I do it this way is because then I'm literally just using my pries for making my duos for my attempts up to tet. So all my balancing is really in this bit. Yeah, I might make a few more attempts on this bit than I do on these ones, but it's just, I prefer it that way. So fiddle around with it, try and make sure you've got your balance on here. If you want to change up these stacks, so let's say you only want to make 8 stacks. As you can see, this changes, you don't get as many duos because obviously you're not making as many stacks. But basically change it around so it's however you want it. try and get it balanced the best that you can for how you want to make them. So if I minimize this, we're already here. So as you can see, I've put one of these in because they use the same black stones now. So let's say I'm going to make a pry stack. We do not want to waste our 310 stack. Always make sure you don't have an accidental stack in there. So then we just go plus 30, apply, and then succeed straight away. I don't think I've got enough black stones to do this example anymore. But yeah, so if you succeed, it's nothing bad with it because obviously that's making you duos for your extra fail stacks. Yeah, so I don't think I actually have black stones. I completely forgot about that. I'll just see if I do have any more black stones. If not, I'll buy some. It's all right. I do have a few more. There we go. Right, there we go. That's what I get for forward planning. I do realise this is a fairly long video, but I do want to show off as much of an explanation as I can. There we go. We've got a 40 stack. Now I'm going to use this 40 stack just for the example, just to make it sooner. So if I'm going for a 44 stack, you just do your 3 clicks there, and then a plus 14, 10.6% chance of success. So generally, it's not going to be too bad. So there we go. That's how you make a 44 stack. Now, obviously, you'd keep making them. So going through making more and more duos as you go. And then what you'd do, I'll just pull it back up on the sheet because it's been a while since I've made a fail stack because the profitability is just gone. So I go from a 37, then I use duos. So technically I can't use this 44 stack because it's in the wrong place for how I do it. So what I'll do is I'll move this over onto this screen so I can see it at the same time. So we'll just grab a new 30 stack. So then we go 1 pry. And then we go duo. And so do 4 duos the way that I do it. Again, it depends on your sheet, but you want to stick to the way that you do it every single time. So now we've got a try. So then we just go back to the beginning, try, another try. That's great because it's for further through the line. We'll just keep going as long as I can attempt it. I'll either make a stack or I won't. Oops, try and mix them. I also always put them in a row because it just makes it a little bit quicker for when I try. So now this is a good thing I can show off. So if this does happen, yes, it does use up an extra stone, but if you just click, it goes up to a duo, you keep your stack. So it just makes it a little bit more efficient for your fail stacking because it helps with your balancing. But as I said, it is actually put into my maths. So what we're doing is we're looking for a 53 stack. So the way that I do have it at the moment is you are more likely to make a try than you are to make a 53 stack. So it's why it does take a few more times, but it's just how I prefer to do it. It's more efficient. And then there isn't actually enough tries on here, I don't think. But if we click through my tries, see, this is a guaranteed up to a tet now, which is fine, as I said, again. And this is a guaranteed up to pen. Now, this isn't always a bad thing. If you get a 35 out of 35 on your Agris, it's actually quite nice. Because, right, I'm going to do it on the militia because then I can get rid of the militia. So now this is a pen. I've got an 83 stack here. If I remove this 83 stack, I can also extract, devour. I can get a 79 stack from this. So I'll skip the animation. Yes. So now I have a 79 stack as well. So the guaranteed on making these pen is actually really helpful. So I needed one more try attempt to make an 88 stack, and then I would go and use 2 tets. So I've got the 2 tets, well, 1 tet because 1 went up. So I've got 1 tet to make it up to 94, but I need to get to 88 before that. So one thing that you've got to keep in mind with the way that this works is it's diagonal. So you click pry at 34 to make a 37. So then you're clicking duo at 37 to make a 41. That's basically how it works. Unfortunately, I did run out of stuff that's balancing. But actually, that's another point I can show off. So let's say it's like this. What you do is you click on Force Enhance. It will use 30 stones, which is, yes, expensive. But you do it every so often. Durability is too low. You need one that's like 100% durability. So 100% durability, Force, yes. And then you've got to repair it as well. Shop. Repair. I hope I'm explaining this well. Recover max duration. We look for the try. Continuous. Enhance. You take your 83 stack. And then I forgot that it works separately. So that's how rare it is to get a pen. The fact that both Militia and Reblath shoes were ready to go to 35. But then I just need some Tets. And then I've got 2 stacks ready to push up. Or 3 stacks, really. Because I've just got a few 70 stacks from that. So there you go. That is basically the explanation. It's already been 16 minutes, so if you want more clarification, let me know. I think this is literally the best that I can do off the cuff. I should have really given myself a bit more prep, but because of the time away in Barcelona, I didn't have as much prep. What can you do? Yeah, so that's everything. So please let me know if you want to know any more. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps grow my channel. And I'll see you next time. Ciao for now.